What's up, guys? Back again with another video. Today we're going to take a look at an ETF, exchange traded funds, and this is one of my favorites. So get ready for some free game. We're about to get it. Guys, so welcome back. We're inside my Robinhood portfolio right now. Currently, my value is at $31,465.74. Today was actually a pretty good day in the market. I am up $146.79. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down the list of stocks that I have here. The first three stocks are pretty much a couple of ETFs. And the fourth one is also an ETF, but this is an ETF that's in the aerospace and military defense sector. And this is the one that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So let's go ahead and click on that. All right, so just some background as far as aerospace and military defense is concerned. I would say the last time there was a big spike in military defense spending was during the Cold War. So let's say in 1990. At that point, the USA led the spending and Russia was second. At that point, China only represented 2% of spending in terms of the global budget for military defense. Fast forward to 2018, and military spending right now for 2018 was actually 1.8 trillion worldwide. The USA alone spent 686 billion during that time frame. Now, there is no war currently going on. When Obama took over, he actually pulled troops out. So spending actually went down during the Obama administration. What actually caused the spike is the resurgence of another threat, which is China. China's military spending has since gone from 2% of the global spending to 14%, second behind the USA, which leads with 36% of spending on military. The USA budget for 2018, like I said, is roughly about $600 billion. China is behind us, number two, with $250 billion for 2018. So this sector is really hot right now because everyone's kind of concerned about why China is spending so much money. And pretty much from reports, China's goal is to have a really powerful military by 2049 to actually match the might of the USA. They've actually recently also acquired a military base outside of China in an African country called Djibouti. So there's also some concern there. There's also concern on the fact that they have started purchasing military equipment. They have, I believe, 2 aircraft carriers right now. The USA has 11, and they've also started investing in supersonic rockets, which are really hard to detect and stop. The other thing also with China is that they're actually spending a lot on cyber security, and I'm assuming hacking as well. There's also been concerns that they have fighter jets which rival the US fighter jets like the Raptors and are actually very similar, which raises concerns that the Chinese probably hacked into the US systems and somehow made a clone version of the Raptor fighter jets. But regardless of that, like I said, this sector is pretty much hot right now. This ETF has roughly about, I would say roughly about 38 different holdings, all inside of the aerospace sector and military sector. So let's just go ahead and look at the graph. So today it's up 0.89%. For the week, it is up 3.72%. The last month, it is up 5.32%. Over a 3-month period, it is up 8.67%. The year, it's up 21.88%. And over the last 5 years, it is actually up 109.95%. So this ETF is growing, and it's growing at a pretty good rate. If we scroll down here, you can see I have 3 shares. My average cost is $222.96, and my equity value is $701.07. It only represents 2.23% of my portfolio right now. My goal is to eventually get this up to a level where it's probably at 5 or 6% of my portfolio value. My return today is 0.89% or $6.18. And over time, my total return so far is $32.20, or I'm up 4.81%. If we look at the stats here, it shows that the 52-week high for this stock is $234.26. So I actually bought in below the 52-week high. The market cap on this ETF is $5.61 billion. It does pay a dividend. The dividend is 1.45%. If we scroll down here, it says volatility is also low. And if we go to the About section, it just pretty much gives you an overview of what the ETF is about. It says that the ITA tracks a market cap weighted index of U.S. manufacturers, assemblers, distributors of airplane and defense equipment. So pretty much that's what it does. All right, so let's hop on over to the iShares website here. See if we could get some more information on this ETF. And for those of you who don't know, iShares is actually an ETF that's owned by BlackRock. And BlackRock is actually one of the world's largest asset management companies. They have roughly about $6 trillion in asset management. So this is a pretty solid ETF managed by a pretty solid, asset manager. All right. So it says here, why ITA? Well, ITA gives you exposure to U.S. companies that manufacture commercial and military aircrafts and other defense equipment. So let's take a look at just the aircraft segment right now. Boeing is one of the companies, obviously, that's inside this mix. Now, Boeing has had issues before, and I did a review previously on Boeing, and I'll actually link it in the description so you guys can watch that if you want to. So they've had some issues with the 737 MAX crash. So on that front, they're not doing so well. But as far as military stuff, they still have a lot of contracts with the government. And as far as other commercial planes, they're still backed up too. They have so much orders for so much planes, the backlog goes back years. All right, and that's just one company inside this ETF. All right, so scroll down here. They have different menu options. You could look at the performance, and it goes into, the returns. And I'll link this in the description, guys, so you could go over it as well. It goes over some of the key facts about the ETF that you can see here. The sustainability characteristics, you could look over that as well. And this section here shows you the holdings. So I just wanted to show you the top 10 companies here. The first one is Boeing, and Boeing represents 20.98% of the ETF. The second up is United Technologies. They represent 16.68%. And then we have Lockheed Martin. This is the company that makes the Raptor fighter jets for the military. They represent 6.71%. Then you have companies like Raytheon, and it just goes on and on and on. So this is just the top 10. If we click on this drop-down list here, we could go to all, and it pretty much gives you 4 pages, pretty much listing, it says 10 of 38, so 38 different holdings. And let's just go through here. So we have, and all these companies, the tickers are listed on the left here. You can actually punch these into Robinhood and look at these companies. They're all growing, man. They're all profitable. They're all making money, and the stocks are all performing well. We go to page 3. You have this company here, Kratos, makes some crazy stuff. You can look at their website. Just crazy the kind of things these guys make. There's also some cash as one of the holdings too. And if you go to scroll down here, we'll see that we have some small arms manufacturers too. We do have Sturm Ruger here, which makes the Ruger pistols and Ruger line of rifles. And then we also have American Outdoor Brands, which is actually the parent company of Smith & Wesson. So this ETF covers everything from, small arm manufacturers like Smith & Wesson all the way up to big name military companies like Lockheed Martin that's making fighter jets, and Boeing. So I think it's a pretty good exposure to the industry or to the sector. And this is something that I'm going to be heavily investing in. If we go over to the Dividend Tracker, let's look at how it performs as far as dividend. So if we pull it up here in TD Ameritrade and we scroll down to dividends, it shows here the ex-dividend date is 9/24/2019, so that has already passed. It doesn't pay much of a dividend. Like I said, it pays like about 1.45%. So the dividend you get per share right here is pretty much 58 cents, and it pays it quarterly. When we look at the Dividend Tracker to see the actual history of dividend payments, the Dividend Tracker gives us a 10-year period. And this ETF was actually started in 2006 by BlackRock. So it doesn't go, the Dividend Tracker doesn't go all the way back to 2006, but it does give you pretty much a 10-year range. So in 2008, the annual payout was 46 cents. 2009, it went up to 67 cents. It dipped down here in 2010 to 53. And then it went back in 2011 to 67 cents. Then 139, then it dipped again to 120. Then 138, then 123, and then 151, then 172, and 179. So I would say the most consistent raise I've seen is roughly since 2016 or since 2015. It has consistently gone up. So $1.23, $1.51, $1.72. For 2018, it was $1.95, and then for 2019 so far, with 3 quarters, we're at $1.78. So it doesn't pay a lot in dividends, but as far as the equity, the stock is growing, like I said, at a pretty decent rate. Over a 5-year period, you're looking at 109%. And based on the information that I was able to ascertain with what's going on with China and then the resurgence of Russia too. So it's like, it looks like it's going to be the Cold War all over again. The military spending is going up crazy. President Trump recently signed another bill in August for increasing the budget for spending to $717 billion. So it's only going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I pretty much think this ETF is pretty much hot right now, man. And I think this is something that, if you're looking to make a decent investment, you can actually buy into it. Now, some people will look at the price and be like, yo, are you crazy? It's $200 plus per share. It's kind of expensive. It is. It's kind of expensive. There is an alternative, though. If you have stash, you can actually buy fractional shares. So I'm just going to show you my son's custodial account right now. He actually has shares. Yeah, if we scroll down here to my son's portfolio breakdown, you can see this is the ETF here. I invested $55 in the custodial account. So far, the returns have been 3.85%, pretty much $2.12 return. But if you click on it, you know, in Stash, it has a different name. It's called Defending America. But if you look at it and you go to the overview section, the ticker is ITA, as you can see right here. So it's the same ETF, but instead of spending, say, $230 per share right now, which is where it's at, you can actually buy fractional shares. All right. But like I said, I think, guys, this sector is really hot right now. This is something that I see myself scaling up on, and I think it's going to be hot for a while, man. Until we figure out exactly what China is up to, you know, and with Russia reemerging, I only see more spending going into this budget, this military budget, and this defense budget, and it's just going to get crazier. All right, so that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this ETF in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you like the video here, go ahead and smash that like button, man. Thanks again for watching the video, guys. Y'all have a blessed day.